There's three main things you need to do to break toxic relationship patterns and cycles. And I'm talking about this is if you're in a relationship that you keep going through the same toxic patterns together as a unit, or more importantly, if you are in a hamster wheel of having repeat toxic relationships. You go from one toxic relationship, you break up with them, and you find someone just like that last person, and the cycle keeps going, and you can't figure out how to stop it and why you keep attracting the same partners. The three things you need to do to break the toxic cycle is first, you need to raise your awareness of the patterns causing the cycles in the first place. Meaning you need to be able to sit back and actually reflect on all the repeat cycles you've been having in these different relationships, or maybe the cycle in your current relationship that keeps happening, keeps coming up. What are the common patterns you notice that are always the same thing? And a good way to help you do that is asking yourself, if you're in a relationship at least, what are some of the things where I feel like I already know how he or she's going to react whenever I do X, Y, Z, or whenever this happens, I already know how what they're going to say, what they're going to do, and then most likely what I'm going to say back to them. That's pattern, right? So in a relationship, that's a great way to figure out what are the patterns that gets us here. What are the kind of stimulus seeds that grows into what is our toxic cycle? Or if it's you going and having repeat toxic cycles of relationships, then ask yourself, what are the most common characteristics or patterns you've noticed in the partners that you're choosing? What are the similarities in the things that they do? And what are the similarities in the process and how it went whenever you were dating them in the beginning that made you attracted to them? And the process that led after that, that got you guys to a relationship. And then the little steps that you notice are always repeat patterns that leads into you guys' conflict and turmoil. The second step after you self-reflect is then to find clarity in the information you just gathered, meaning figuring out what those patterns mean, what the source of them was, and what needs to happen in order to break those patterns. What would be the things that would actually stop that unhealthy way of going about things and insert the healthy way? What is the healthy way? What is maybe the decision that you make differently next time? Or maybe you're deciding to not do something, right? Are you, leaning into something different, or are you avoiding something altogether? And a simple way of asking it is, what needs to change in those dynamics to get what you actually want versus the outcome you wind up having? And here's your little cheat sheet, check sheet, if you will, to go through to conclude or determine whether this new way that you need to take action on, or what you need to do to break the pattern with, is actually something that is going to be healthy for you and is the right choice. Because I know a lot of times we can second guess ourselves on whether the conclusion I came to is the one that's actually accurate and if I should even do it, right? And you slip back into what you're comfortable with, even though it might not be getting you the results you want. So your cheat sheet is asking yourself, is this new way, is this way that I need to take to break this pattern, right? Is it serving me? And what that means is it has to check off 5 crucial boxes, all of them. It must. If it doesn't check off all 5, then it doesn't serve you, and you have to go back to the drawing board and figure out a new plan. And the 5 are, is what I'm thinking to do or stop doing or whatever, right? Towards the goal, the thing that I want, right? Help me get there in a healthy way. Is it helpful for me? Is it positive for me? Is it loving to me, right? Does it feed my spirit? And is it building me up, right? Is it helping me grow, right? That's what that means. Is it doing all 5? If I can't answer as to how it is doing and accomplishing all 5, it doesn't serve me, and therefore it doesn't truly serve me towards the goal, the thing that I actually want, right? It's your easy checklist to run through. And once you get clarity on, okay, here is what's going to actually serve me, right? Check off all 5 of those boxes. Then now you have your plan. Now you know exactly what you need to do to break the patterns and start building a healthier pattern. Now here comes the third step, and probably the most challenging one. The third one is you have to build your discipline to take blind action. Such a huge piece, right? See, because you can do all the self-reflective work all day, right? Notice all the patterns. You can be extremely aware. You can even build clarity through that to know, okay, exactly what you need to do to break those patterns. But we live in a world of tangibles. We live in a world of reality is what I experience for the most part, right? At least people, condition themselves to think that way, or at least people get raised that way. So when that's the case, then it's going to take everything in you to have the discipline to blindly act on what you have clarified and analyzed and broken down into a formula without hesitation, without thinking another second on it. Because what messes us up so often is that we'll do that self-reflection, we'll, gain our awareness, and then we'll get clarity on, okay, man, this is what I probably need to do going forward. And you're pretty clear and sure that it's the best thing for you and the thing you should be doing. But your body hasn't caught up yet because it's still conditioned and wired to the old way, the toxic way, right? And so your body is going to start feeling a little uncomfortable and wanting to push you away from doing the healthy thing because it's not used to it. That's not comfortable for your body yet because it's not used to putting those reps in, just like going to the gym, right? Something that you know is good for you, running on a treadmill or lifting those weights, it's going to help your body the way you want it to, but your body doesn't like it initially, right? It feels awkward. It feels weird. It kind of resists it. You don't want to get up sometimes in the morning to go do it until you get into your routine, right? Same thing here. And where people get stuck is they let their mind get to them because your mind and body are in sync, right? Your subconscious and your body are working together. And if it doesn't feel good to your body, your subconscious picks up on that and says, uh-oh, this might mean we're going to be in danger because discomfort equates to possible pain. So then it's going to try to convince you to stay put and don't do that new thing that you vetted, you dotted your I's and crossed your T's on, and it's the right thing to do. It's going to be serving to you, right? It only has a healthy and positive outcome. It's going to break the pattern and the cycle, but we overthink, right? We think a little bit more. Your subconscious starts throwing those memories at you or those different thoughts that says, hey, this is not going to work, or no, I don't deserve it. Whatever sabotaging things they can throw at you to get you to stay in your safe space, which is really an uncomfortable space at the end of the day. So you have to build the discipline to blindly just jump and take the action on what you have gotten clear on is accurate and is the truth for you that you need to live in, against what your body's going to tell you. Everything in you is going to feel like, no, I don't want to do this, or I'm not so sure. You have to block that out and blindly leap and go into mode. Because the only way to start giving yourself a new belief system and a new reality is to create those tangibles. You have to experience something new to start believing in something new, right? You can have a vision of something new and believe it's possible, but for it to actually exist in the physical world, you have to put the action steps to seeing it, which means you need to do the thing that you got clear on, regardless of how you feel. You have to turn emotions off at this point, right? See, our emotions and our intellect are supposed to work hand in hand. But so often we're letting our emotions lead us, or get people that are emotionally unavailable and turn their emotions off and they're letting their intellect lead them too much, right? They have to work together cohesively. You have to know and have the discernment to know when sometimes your emotions are doing too much work and your intellect needs to step in and analyze things and break things down in serving ways to you, right? And then vice versa. You have to make sure you're not too much in your head to where you're not paying attention to how you feel and what resonates with you. And now you're operating in ways that self-sabotage yourself because you're too in your head and not enough in your heart, right? They work in balance. But if you take the proper time to sit with yourself to reflect, become aware of what the patterns are, and then put your due diligence into leaning into some of those circumstances and those patterns to say, hey, what would be the thing that'll break this for me and get me the healthier result, the more serving result? And then you blindly jump into action without second guessing it or overthinking it. And your results are going to change seemingly overnight when you stay disciplined to doing this day in and day out. If you need help building this skill set so you can break the toxic patterns in your life and relationships, then email or DM me the word coaching and we'll get to work as long as you're truly ready to put the work in. If you're not ready, don't have the time or the space for one-on-one coaching, email or DM me the word revival so you can join my Relationship Revival Hub community and take my relationship renewal video course in there that teaches the same things I teach my clients one-on-one on your own time, at your own pace. And I even do live weekly coaching calls in there so I can actually teach you things from the modules directly and unique and specialized content just for you guys who are in the community to get the results you want and more. Either way, do something to get in the race. Let's get it.